Hey everybody, welcome to Suburban Oasis. Today is Labor Day, and it's a day for me to be doing a little bit of labor in my yard, but not too much. Just cleaning up a little bit. One of the things I definitely need to do is take care of some of the brush that I have, so I have a little bit burning here in the back, and while that goes, I'm going to take you to show you a project that my husband has been working on for me, and in addition to that, I will show you my back hill. So I live on about half an acre, and down the hill is the rest of our yard. And so it's a little more wild because I haven't done a lot of work back there. But this year I started planting some different plants and really wanted to start to make it something that would be pretty when I look down the back side of the hill. So I'm taking you along what I call the woodland garden here, just so you can see how it's coming along. I made all of this last year, and it's quite a nice shaded area to just kind of wander in and garden in, and I also just enjoy spending time in the shade when it gets hot out. So we have one gate that goes down into the what I call the way back, and here it is right here. And this is right where the project is that my husband's working on. So we had torn up a patio quite some time back, and as a result have broken concrete chunks, giant concrete chunks. And so I said to him I would really like some stairs on the back hill to help with going down, because I have a giant compost bin that we built back here last year. And so I thought it would be really helpful for us to have a way to get down the hill better, because it gets very slippery during the winter. And he said, sure, I can build some stairs going straight down. And I said, oh yeah, but that's also kind of boring. Maybe utilitarian, but I really want some that go up kind of curving up the hill. So we have a little compromise here, and I got both. So he said, I'm making the one that goes straight up the hill, and I will make the one that curves up the hill as well for you. I just planted this arborvitae at the bottom today. So here's what it looks like at the bottom of the hill. We have the straight up one, and we have the one that curves up the hill here. And then he also had to build a little bit of a retaining wall, as you can see, to help hold the dirt in place, because it is quite steep. And I started planting a few things in the soil to hold it together. One of my favorite ground covers here, the ajuga. And then I planted some sedum, which clearly got nibbled on by some rabbits and deer. They come through here a lot, and so they definitely take things that they want. I have a couple of betony right here and right over here, so those bloom pink, and then another sedum. And then I planted an Amsonia right up here, which gets very bushy and blue. Has light blue flowers on it. I don't know if it will be sunny enough in this location, but I figure since it blooms early on in the season that there will not be leaves on the trees at the time that those are budding up, so it should be okay. I also have some chives over here, and some geranium macrorhizum, which is the big root geranium. And I planted some obedient plant along here, but it's not really doing much because the deer ate all the buds off. That's okay. And then I have some liatris right along this edge here. which doesn't do fabulous because it is a bit shady, but I just wanted to get some things to help hold the soil in place again, until I could figure out what the environment is like for planting back here. It is very heavy clay soil. You can see here where my husband is digging into it. There's about an inch on top that is kind of friable, if you will, and then underneath of it it's like super hard, so hard that it requires a pickaxe for him to get through it. I did plant this pine tree as well as this one here, and so this is a very interesting example, if you will, of what it means to plant something in the right place. So I planted both of these trees at the exact same time, and you can see which one is healthier and which one is taller and bushier than the other, because this tree at the bottom of the hill gets a ton more moisture, and there's no runoff from the hill of the water, so it's just a lot happier here. So we'll take you up on this hill here, and I'm going to come past this and then look back on it so that it's not having the bright sun in your eyes. I think the light will be better that way. So this hill was originally pretty much covered in the honey locust bushes, which were invasive, and that's what these are right here, these bushes. But I'm just leaving those right now because I'm not ready to tackle the whole hill. I pruned them up so that there's space underneath of them, and I planted what is that called, periwinkle, which has the little blue flowers on it, so I'm hoping that will spread, as well as some of that large root geranium over here under these. So that's the periwinkle and that's the large root geranium, and they're doing pretty well so far, considering that barely any light gets through and barely any water, so it's very dry shade. Over here in this area I planted sweet woodruff, so that's also a creeping type plant with little white flowers on it. And then up front here I have a few Roseanne geraniums, which have pretty blue flowers on them. Some chives, which flower in the spring. I was hoping for a second bloom this fall, but I don't think that's going to happen. Then I have a little Nepeta catmint, and these pink geraniums here are called Dreamland geraniums. So those are perennial, and I got those this year on clearance. There's 3 of those, and then between them we have 3 of these garlic chives, which are white flowers. This time of year is when they like to flower. And they deer do not like the garlic chives or the onion chives, so I know that they are going to bloom and not be disturbed by the rabbits and the deer, and maybe they'll help protect some of the other flowers we have here. So these pink ones over here are Veronica, and those are just about done with flowering. I figure I'll leave the seed heads on this year as opposed to cutting them back to see if they produce some seedlings next spring. You can see I interspersed all of the plantings here with some ajuga, both the tricolor and the chocolate chip varieties, and that is spreading pretty well. Come over here and try not to blind you with the sun. These plants right here, I have 3 of them, and they're baby's breath, and I wasn't sure if the deer or rabbits would like them. It's clear to me now that they do, because they ate them right back, but you know, they'll be pretty if they bloom at all. And then back behind them, this bushy area is more Nepeta, and that's the Walker's Low variety. Over here, something that I thought the deer did not like also is yarrow. And they ate the tops off of that as well. But there's plenty of new growth happening on them, so I am not worried. They're going to come back next year, and maybe when there's more on this hillside, they won't be so excited to eat them all, and we'll save some for me to see. So I also have some salvia. I have 3 salvias planted in here, and those are the purple version. I think they might be New Dimension Blue, not positive. But yeah, so things are looking much different than they did before. Before this, again, it just looked very boring, nothing much to look at. I'm looking forward to seeing the pretty flowers that come up over the ajuga in the springtime. Hey everybody, I had a little technical glitch there. So I was just talking about the Dreamland geraniums and how the deer don't really like them, and I got cut off. So you'll notice that the light is a little nicer actually now because the sun has gone behind the tree. So the Dreamland geranium, these were all sale plants, and I just want to encourage people to not be afraid to use them. They were originally $15.98 each, but I got them for $5 each. And so I saved a boatload of money on those. Instead of $48, I spent essentially $15. And they're already blooming, and they look very nice. I did not cut off all of the spent flowers, but that's alright. I will do that in a few weeks after they really get established. They've only been in the ground for a few days. So the deer don't really eat them very much either, but I'll hold off on saying that with any authority until after they've been here for a little longer. I will say that the Roseanne geraniums over here, they did not get eaten very much by the deer or the rabbits. So I'm fairly confident that these Dreamland geraniums will also be fine. Alright, well, that is the back hill garden, and it's coming along quite nicely. I am enjoying seeing it come together from scratch. It takes a lot of work sometimes to have these things really come together, but it's worth it in the end, if I say so myself. So anyhow, guys, I appreciate you joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and like my video. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks again.